Hey again, two heads up here. Welcome to another one of my PVM guides. This time it's Zamorak solo or Krill Tsutsaroth solo. With the new year and with next coming out in just 2 days, I'd figure I'd make a refresher for a lot of the guides I already have out that are years old at this point. Zamorak has historically been my favorite God Wars boss, specifically my favorite boss to duo. Um, this is a solo guide, though, however. I know a lot of people that watch these types of videos, I'm sure, are Iron Man, and they don't really have another choice but to solo. I know Group Iron Man is out as well, but this is an, excuse me, an, excuse me again, an excellent boss to duo. But let's dive right into the setup. And Zamorak is definitely one of those mid-tier bosses where you don't have to have the best in slots things to do this boss, but there are two things that I highly recommend, and that is Arclight, excuse me, Arclight and Arceuus spells. That's interesting. Where are my? Did I forget a rune here? Why are my thralls not showing up? Uh, this should be a combat spell. That is interesting. What am I missing? Oh, prayer points. Okay. Alright, that was freaking me out for a sec. Um, alright. Because I knew I brought everything. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so let's, but those are the two things. So the Arclight and the Arceuus Spell Book. Now, the quest for the Arceuus Spell Book, I think it's a Kingdom Divided. I think that's the quest you need to do to unlock the full Arceuus Spell Book. But there's two spells in particular. Obviously, Thralls, right? So I'll be using Ranger Thralls. I don't know if it matters what you pick or not. But secondly, is a Ward of Arceuus, which requires souls, natures, and cosmic runes. And this reduces damage, excuse me, damage you take from demons by 10%. So the main thing with going with a high melee defense setup against Krill is you want to reduce his melee attack damage as much as you can. That's why full Justiciar and that spell is so good. You can use a high magic attack, excuse me, magic defense setup and use a melee prayer setup. However, that is, in my opinion, I've done both. In my opinion, that's a much more risky setup. You're much more likely to get KO'd. Zamorak is the easy boss, but if you go with the protect melee route, you're much more likely to get KO'd. So I have always preferred a high defense setup. Sure, you might take more consistent damage, but you're far less likely to get KO'd or comboed out. So let's continue going through the gear, I guess. Um, so this is almost best in slot for now, with exception to the Inferno Cape as usual. When Torva armor comes out, that will obviously be better than this. Just to sure, because just the strength difference is going to be insane. I think Torva is it has similar defense to Just Assure, but it's got amazing strength bonuses. But Just Assure for now is a great setup, just because, like I said, of the damage reduction. Now you think, oh, why didn't I go with more tanky items such as a shield or whatever? It's because of the Arclight. Because it gets 75% accuracy, I think damage as well, from your gear stats, you want as much offensive stats as possible. So you wear the 3-set bonus for the Gesture to get the melee attack damage reduction, and everything else is going to be all offense. It's a great balance. I really like this setup. Um, there are many different setups you can use because you're not always going to have best in slot. Serp Helm works great for Krill, and if you do use a Serp Helm, you can go ahead and use Bandos or Barrows or whatever. Barrows is like Torags. It works just fine. If you're an Iron Man and that's all you got, you need to throw together some Barrows pieces and a Serp Helm. That works just fine. Um, like I said, the main things you need to do Zamorak is going to be the Arclight and the Arceuus Spellbook. The inventory with the with a solo kill, one super combat is plenty. It's all about how much food you can bring. You want to bring as much food as possible. One piece of food can be the difference between getting a kill and not getting a kill. Um, the Arceuus Spell Book is pretty inventory intense. It requires 5 runes. And then on top of that, the Book of the Dead. Don't forget your antidote plus. Plus, his poison does hit 16, so you definitely do want to bring an antidote. The hard combat diary is not even a requirement for this. Why Zamorak has been so great is because it's not crowded. This is the high risk world, which is a very popular world for bossing, and I've got it all to myself. So yeah, Zamorak is a boss. You can do it any type of day or any time of day. And like I said earlier, in my opinion, it's best a duo. Um, all right, so I think that's about as much as I can talk about for the setup. So let's go ahead and get ready. Oh, I guess for kill count, you can kill the imps or whatever you want in here. Just take note that as soon as you cross the river, you're gonna lose all your prayer points. You can get kill count in the main hall or in the Zamorak corridor. It's all up to you. So let's go ahead and get ready. I'm gonna go ahead and angler up as well. There's a lot of things to keep in mind here. So you want to drink your antidote, get your ward up, get your prayers on. Oh, that's... And we're going to do the 1-2 method after we spec here. And the 1-2 method, all that is you attack him twice, he hits you once. So you attack twice, walk under him. That's all it is. That significantly reduces the damage you take. You want to stay above 70 health. And you want to try and eat underneath him. Kind of messed that one up there. This kill is a little long. Make sure you keep up with your Arceuus spells. Make sure you pay attention to your ward timer and all your other timers. Don't worry with the melee setup. Don't worry about prayer too much, prayer flicking or whatever. You're gonna have, if you bring more than enough superstores, your food is always going to be the limiting factor. We're gonna have altar. So I'm not worried about prayer points too much. And I might do another kill here, just to show you, I guess, the corner that I camp. Just what a spawn kill looks like. Okay. And that's it. Talk a little bit more about Zamorak. Why I've always liked Zamorak is the spear. Zamorak has the most consistent drops out of all the God of War dungeon bosses. So if you're on a dry streak, go ahead and do some Zamorak, because you're more likely to get a drop here than anywhere else. And the spear is hovering around 16 mil right now. So yeah, Zamorak is an excellent boss to do. Regular super combats are fine here. So we'll go ahead and turn on our prayers. If you're a duoing, you camp this corner, and then whoever's tanking the boss just runs out and attacks him. And he will have aggro. Just be careful when you're doing the 1-2 method, because if you stand underneath him for too long, let's say you have to eat a lot of food, he will switch aggro. And if your partner didn't bring poison immunity, then he's going to be in big trouble. Your trip's going to be over, basically. And yeah, 1-2 method, very simple. If you get a Dragon Warhammer spec or an Arclight spec, the kill becomes much easier. And that's it. Alright, well thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.